And this is nycboom from the Double A Club podcast. You can catch us on Spotify, Amazon Music, and Iheart Radio. We're going to continue our web series about dealing with alcoholism and drug abuse. And I have a special guest with me. Can you please introduce yourself?
My name is Miguelina from the Bronx.
Yes. And from your side, you're not an alcoholic or a drug abuser.
No, I'm not an alcoholic.
Okay, so your story is from what side?
My story is from my daughter's father's side. He's the alcoholic in the family.
Okay, so you're basically you're the family dealing with someone who's going through this problem.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so why don't you tell us your story?
To see if it can help other people.
Yes.
And to talk about how it has affected both of us.
Yes.
And what he has done, and how it has also not only affected me, it affected her also.
It's very important to know that, because from an alcoholic side point of view, and from other people's point of view, they never really know how trauma affects the family.
Yes.
Dealing with that, because you only see the victim. You don't see how it trickles down to everybody else. So this is going to be a good outlook hearing from you on how it has traumatized you and your family.
Yes.
So
even though I don't consider him a victim, because as I stated, he stopped for 14 years when we first started.
Yes.
He was good. We had our issues. Then all of a sudden he starts with the drinking again. So it basically has hit him rock bottom.
And
now he has no relationship with our daughter.
What do you mean by rock bottom?
Stuff he's done.
What do you mean by rock bottom?
Rock bottom that his family lives in Florida, his mom and his sisters. They basically don't communicate with him, because when he was staying with them for a time, I believe for 2 months, he didn't act correctly with his mom. His mom is an older lady. He would try to break stuff in his mom's house. His mom finally just had enough and decided that he has to leave her house. And because he was here in New York first before he went to Florida, he came back and he's still drinking. He says he's not. My daughter is terrified to go outside. Last year, she was supposed to finish high school. She couldn't finish because she was so terrified of him, thinking that he was going to do something to her. I'm even scared sometimes to leave my house and leave her alone. I have to literally lock the door, have her put all the locks on the doors, because I'm afraid he's going to come to my house. I have to look behind me when I walk now, because who knows what he's going to do.
Has he been violent with you?
Yes, I let him stay with us last year because he was in a treatment program in Brooklyn. He left the treatment program. I felt bad for him. I let him stay with me, let him stay with us. And my daughter was feeling sick one day. I take her to my mom's house. We come back and he threw a plate of food on the wall. He kicked me. I had to get a restraining order against him. I had to have the sheriffs come and kick him out of my house because he doesn't act correctly. He even came to my building drunk and laid on the front of my building, and that embarrassed me and his daughter. And people were asking us, "Do you know this person?" I said, "No, I don't."
So, what do you think triggered that violent episode? Was he drunk already?
I would say, because his father used to be an alcoholic as well, and his father did stuff to his mom. So I guess when he saw that, he felt that that's what he had, that's how he had to act as well.
So generational trauma.
Yes, generational, yes.
Okay. And he wasn't drunk at the time, right? He was just, he just had an outburst?
He's never stopped drinking. He supposedly says he stops and then it just continues.
Okay. So he just shows up drunk.
Yes, he just shows up drunk. The other day, Friday he came to my house to fix something, and I was taking out my dog, and I noticed that there was a paper on the floor of my door, and he had the gall to come to my door and slip his number under my door when he's not supposed to be coming to my house.
Okay.
It's like I've seen him in the street, and it's like I speed walk or I go the other way so I don't have to have no interaction with him. My daughter likes to, come outside with me, but I tell her no, I don't want her to go outside because one Saturday we had an incident. We were walking and he just runs up on us. I don't know what he would have done. I don't know if he was going to do something. Somebody had to tell him, that's not cool. He's like, oh, that's my daughter. I literally have to threaten this man with the police for him to, leave us alone. And even then that doesn't work because they take a statement, but they haven't caught him yet.
Yeah, and it's kind of hard for the police to do their job on a situation like that because it's not actually a crime. Mm-hmm. So they can't really do nothing but just keep reporting it and just do a paper trail on it.
Yes, I had to buy pepper spray for me and her, but she can't really have it because when she goes to school, they have metal detectors and security, so she can't really have it with her.
So has he? Okay. We know that he's been violent with you. Has he been violent with your daughter?
He has threatened her, saying he's gonna break her jaw, and do stuff to her. And that makes her, be afraid to go outside. Because last year she was supposed to graduate. But because of this, that she wasn't going, now hopefully this year she'll be able to actually finish.
So how many years ago was it that you noticed that this was a problem?
I noticed it, I would say, maybe 5 or 6 years ago.
And in 5 or 6 years, right?
Yeah.
You've been still dealing with this person. Why has it been so difficult for you to detach from him?
Why what?
Why has it been so difficult to detach your family from him?
It's been difficult because he's the type that'll act like he doesn't do anything to make himself seem the victim. That's his MO. I've gone to court with this man when we lived in Jersey for domestic violence, and he says, oh, I didn't do anything, I haven't done anything, I don't know what she's talking about, and he makes it seem like I'm crazy. When I've literally had, I would say, almost 100 text messages from him that I took to court that the judge even said, what is wrong with you? Why are you sending this woman so many text messages? He's kicked me out of the house, I don't know how many times. He has done a lot.
And he wasn't like that when you first met him?
No, when I first met him, he was normal. No, he was normal. I didn't, notice anything out of the ordinary with this man. And it's like now that I, still am dealing with, the issue, it makes me think, maybe I missed something, maybe I didn't see something, but he didn't show any signs.
So how was he when you first met him? Like, describe the man when we first met. We had a day where we talked almost all night. He was very nice. He was a typical guy. He didn't show anything different. He was just, he seemed like a nice guy. Mm-hmm. Okay. And you started seeing signs eventually.
Yeah, I started, after a while, I started seeing, that I didn't really see right away.
Yeah, but you
My
still saw
dad
something.
actually saw, that he wasn't right, but you know how us girls are, when we are fixated on someone that we say, no, 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 we know better and stuff. And it's like that day when my dad told me he's not right, I said, no, 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 he's good. He's good. In hindsight, if I would.
I didn't get to hear you. Your mic kind of went off.
Oh, hold on.
We didn't hear you. Your mic went off.
You got it? You hear me?
Yes. Go ahead.
No.
Repeat.
Yeah, that's what I mean. In hindsight, looking back, I wish I would have, listened. Then I wouldn't have gone through everything I went through with him.
So tell us some of the signs that did appear.
What did
that
appear
your father saw, and what did you see?
was that he was controlling. If I would go somewhere, he would need to know where I was going, or he would go with, one time me and my daughter and my friend, we were going out and he had to tag along. He never did that. All of a sudden he wants to come and tag along.
Okay.
I would have girls' night out, he would come too, or he would send my daughter to where I was at to come ask me for money. Literally, I had to tell him when I was working that I only made $100 because he would always ask for money. And to this day, he still does.
Any more signs?
That's basic. That was that he started acting more mean than usual. He wasn't as nice as he was.
Mm-hmm.
His mom had to tell him stuff, and it's like he didn't really listen. He's the type that you can't tell him anything. He's like, oh, I'm grown. I don't need nobody telling me anything.
So continue with your story with dealing with him.
Mm-hmm. And after everything that happened, when I finally got the strength to say enough is enough, I finally left.
It was good for a while. We did the whole
Your mic keeps going off.
I still felt
near him when he was come pick up.
There you go. Repeat what you just said because your mic keeps coming off.
When we would have to do the exchange with our child, I felt uncomfortable.
What and why would you feel uncomfortable? What made you uncomfortable about the exchange? I would think that would be normal.
With him, I never know what he's gonna do. To this day, I still feel uncomfortable whenever I see him. It's like I don't know if he's gonna, have somebody come and do something or anything, or he's gonna try something. So with him, I don't feel comfortable. I don't trust him at all.
So what's the most unusual thing, like the most shocking thing he's done?
The most shocking thing he's done, because my daughter got 2 lawsuits in the past. She has money in the bank now, and the most shocking thing to me that he did or said was that he told people where we live that she has this money in the bank for them to hurt her.
What?
Yes.
Wow. How did you find that out?
Because my daughter still was talking to him, and he would literally threaten. He said, "Oh, I'm gonna tell people on the block that you have money." Because I was like in shock that he would actually want to harm me and his child for money, just so he can get alcohol.
That's strange. Very strange.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yes, it is. A father can actually say that to their own child.
Has anyone actually follow through with that?
No, thank God, no.
That's good.
I did another. We did another police report, and I have an order against him. Thank God she blocked him so he doesn't call her. She's still undecided about doing a restraining order against him because, that is her dad still, and she does feel bad about, for him, but at least he's not calling, so that gives me some peace. But it's like, I still don't feel comfortable at all walking. If I go outside, it's like I literally speed walk back to my house. I lock all the locks as soon as I come in, even during the day. I always have to look behind me, and I never used to do that. Even being from the Bronx, my area, I never had to look back for anybody. But with him, it's like I always have to look back now.
And he lives around the area, or he's homeless?
He hangs around the area. Yeah, there's I don't know if you know 183rd.
Yes.
In Loring Place. Yeah, there's the Aqueduct, that little park.
Yeah.
That's his hangout spot now.
Oh, okay.
So that makes it, if I go to the supermarket or if I make sure I go quick if I need something and come back, so I'm not too much around the area.
That's never been a safe place to hang out.
No, not at all. But
No.
for him, since he's, since that's where his, associates are, that makes it good for him. Because, he hangs out with all the alcoholic people there.
And he's not. Is he homeless?
Apparently so, because he has no place to live, as far as I know. He was staying with someone, but they kicked him out, though. As far as I know, he's been a bum in the street.
So, here's another question, right? So let's say best case scenario, right? If he was willing to get help, right? We already know that you can't tell him anything. He's a stubborn ass, right? What type of help do you think he would be receptive to with his personality?
With his personality, I don't even think there's any help, because one of his relatives even tried putting him in a detox place, and he did that, but it didn't really do anything because he's still continuing.
Has he been arrested before?
He's been arrested in Jersey. He has never been arrested here.
So he's been in jail probably for a short periods of time.
Yes.
So,
yes, at the time when he was arrested in Jersey for domestic violence against me, his relatives bailed him out and stuff. So
did he seem a little bit better after he came out of jail? Maybe the first time.
Because when he came out, all he did was go to a hospital for mental health, and all he did was say, "Oh, I'm gonna kill myself. I'm gonna kill myself," and I'm like, I was just waiting for that to happen, but he didn't do anything. So,
do you believe that he suffers from mental health, or it's just really alcoholism?
I believe he has some instance of it, because he's just like, especially when he with the alcohol, he's not all there, I would say.
And do you think that it's just alcohol? Maybe it could be other recreational stuff.
Maybe he could, because in Jersey, I know he used to snort, and in the past, before I started with him, he one of his sister's ex-boyfriends, he was a big drug dealer, and he used to sell and he used to take drugs. So
yes. Okay.
But everybody hopes that he gets help, even his sister. But I told her, I'm like, your brother's not, easy.
And his side of the family still attempts to help, right?
They really don't deal with him at all. They don't deal with him at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
And that's just as of recently, because I mean, you did say
recently.
Yeah, because they did bail him out of jail, right?
Yeah, they did bail him out years ago when he lived in Jersey, but now they really don't. None of his family deals with him.
So now they're tired of all his bullshit.
Yeah, they're tired of all the nonsense, and it's like, it's sad with how they were with him, but they have to wash their hands of him. I told you, his mom is older, and his mom needs peace, and she's not gonna have that with him. Even though I'm like, I wish he didn't come back here, because now it's like stressing me. The other day I had high blood pressure. When I went to the doctor, I had to take my blood pressure like 4 times, and it's never been as high as it was because of him.
So you don't believe that there's any help for this guy?
I believe he needs help, and he needs it,
but is there? Do you think there is help for him?
There should be help for him, but he doesn't want it. And like I tell our daughter, I'm like, you can only help somebody so much until, if they don't are receptive to the help, or they don't look for it, there's not much you can really do, because they have to want to get the help. If they don't want it, you can, as the saying goes, you can put a horse to drink, to drink whatever, but if they're not going to do it, they're not going to do it.
So from your daughter's point of view, right, I understand she's scared of him, but she's also kind of like hesitant of not communicating with him, because he is still her father.
Yeah.
She does really want that relationship, but understands in a certain way that she can't. How do you see it affecting her? Because I mean, how old is she?
She's 18.
So she's 18. She's entering womanhood, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And when you hope that these situations don't affect her as she gets older. You know what I'm saying? Like, as she gets older, she starts having trust issues with men, or maybe she
already has trust issues with people. Yeah. It's like she can't really trust people.
Yeah, and or maybe looking for men who are like her daddy. You know, I mean, like this stuff can bring a multitude of issues towards your daughter in the next decade.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so how do you see it affecting her now? Like, it must be small signs, but you have to see something on how she's affected. Is she sad?
She has her moments when she's sad, and she's the type that she doesn't communicate too much when she's in her sad mood. But I try to tell her, I'm like, because she'll sometimes won't come outside, but I tell her, I'm like, you can't let him scare you into not coming outside, because he can't control your life. You have to worry about you. Your father's grown. He's supposed to be worrying about you and taking care of you. You're not supposed to be taking care of him.
And any other things that you noticed about your daughter from dealing with the father like this?
Well, she's right here. She can, I'll put her on so she can tell you, come on, Sam, be nice. Be nice. Come on, be nice. She can tell you her soul hockey,
Well, good afternoon,
Sam, about how you feel.
Good afternoon, Sam. How you doing?
I'm okay, just sick at the moment.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. You got a cold or a flu or something like that? Okay, and your voice is, I can kind of hear that your voice is kind of going, does it hurt for you to talk?
A little bit.
Or do you feel comfortable talking and telling us your side, your point of view on, okay. Well, we don't have to.
Well, I have to,
Yeah.
Because she's shy. That's the other thing. She's shy.
Okay. There's nothing wrong with that, So, I mean, but still, from your side, you on the outside looking in to your daughter, how do you see it affecting her in a negative way? And how is it affecting her negatively?
In the negative way,
Or maybe she doesn't have. Maybe she's not affected negatively. Maybe she just completely ignored. I'm just asking.
I wouldn't say she completely ignores it. She tries to, to deal with it the best way she can. But it's hard because, she still has that love for him, and it's hard for her.
It's understandable.
She still cries for him and stuff.
And myself as a father of two, right? I'm not. We have separate homes, so we're separated. Me and the mother, we're separated. We have separate homes. The kids grew up in two different households, and from a father's point of view, my point of view personally, and I hope to believe that most men are like this, but we want our kids to grow up better than us, and we want to support them and protect them and make sure that everything is copacetic, that when they go out to the world, they understand the dangers and also know when to get out of the dangers. I taught my daughter how to fight from a very early age in case some dude tried to touch her. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
So, it's hard for me to listen to this man threatening his daughter and trying to rob her. That's fucking crazy.
It is. It's very crazy.
And just oh man, it's just sending me chills, but it's not what us men are born and raised from. Did he have both his parents?
He had his father, but as I said, his father was an alcoholic also,
and abusive.
So his father wasn't around as much. He had his stepfather, but his stepfather he was a handful from when he was little. So, and then his mom used to drink too, so that basically didn't help him either.
So how do you guide your daughter through this? What is your story on trying to help her out?
I try to be for her, support her, give her a lot of affection. Because she even told me the other day, she was like, when me and him were going through our domestic violence issues, she told me, she's like, Mom, I grew up, I basically raised myself. And that hurt because it's like, I was around, but I wasn't around like I should have been for her. Because me and him were going through our stuff, I couldn't deal with it, so I would leave. And instead of taking her with me, I left her in the environment. Because I would try to take her. I went to the police station, but he wouldn't let me take her. He said, oh, you can leave, but my child stays here. And that made it hard for me to, because I would, not that I would leave, the house, and not come back. I would go for maybe to a store to just, clear my head and get away from him. Because this man, he literally put my head up against the wall. He would hit me with boots. He would hit me with belts. And it was I dealt with all of that.
And how long was you dealing with that physical violence?
I've been dealing with that for 14 years.
Okay, so for 14 years, you've been dealing with physical abuse, but then in the last 6 years, you've been dealing with his alcoholism.
Yes.
So, I have to ask the question. Why did you deal with 14 years of physical abuse?
At the time, I was.
What made you stay?
The abuse, because I wanted my daughter to grow up with her parents, because I had grown up with both of my parents, and I never saw them fighting or anything like that. So I wanted to give my daughter the chance to have both of her parents together. That's why I stayed for her.
So you would take a slap, a kick here and there just because you wanted both parents?
Yes.
And that was your main reason. And then
he was my main, priority at the time. I didn't care about, I cared about what going through, but she was my main, because it was time to have her.
you were sacrificing yourself.
Yes.
And then it led into alcohol.
Yes.
And with the alcohol in place with the violence, was it much worse than the actual, like, just the physical violence alone?
I would say it was both. It was both instances were bad, you know. But when I finally had enough, I spoke to my family, I spoke to my brother, my sister-in-law, and I said, I gotta get out of this. And they came, they helped me, they went to court with me, you know.
So tell us, what was the breaking point? What was it that made you say, hey, this is it, I'm done?
The breaking point for me was when he took my head and put it against the wall.
So tell us about that day. Tell us about that story. Tell us how it came down. Explain
what led to that, but all of a sudden he just took my head and just hit me against the wall of the closet, and after that I said no more.
That was it.
And I said I can't deal with this no more.
How many times did you put your head through the wall?
I would say it was maybe 2 or 3.
And that's all he did.
He did that day. I said he hit me with a bell, he hit me with a boot.
What?
Yes.
He took out the correa?
Yes, he did.
And then he hit you with a boot?
Yep.
Like, he wasn't wearing the boot. He had it in his hand and hit you with a boot.
No, he didn't have it in. He wasn't wearing it. He just had it on the floor, and he just hit me with the boot. He pushed me in the bathtub. He has done a lot.
But that day, I'm talking about just that day alone.
That day with the boot, that when he hit me, when he put my head, I said no more. I said I gotta get out of this. I can't.
Well, I'm glad that you did get out of it. Jesus.
Yes, so am I. And I'm glad I'm able to, tell it,
And how many times did you end up going to the hospital?
I went to the hospital a few times.
And in the hospital, nobody ever questioned you? Because I know it's by law, they're supposed to.
Yes, but nobody, no. And I was embarrassed too. I'm the type, at the time, I didn't really, I felt embarrassed to, say what was going on. So I just basically kept it quiet. But I would go to the police station in the nighttime, when I would go out for a walk or say I'm going somewhere, and I would go to the police station and report him. So it wasn't like I didn't do anything, but... And I kept records of everything that he did. I kept the text messages that he sent me. He put me through a lot.
So, still up to this date, the court hasn't been able to do anything, or have they done something?
Well, I recently got another temporary restraining order against him. We have to go back to court on December 10th to hopefully make it permanent, but he doesn't go to court.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if he doesn't go to court. You show up. That's all that matters.
I show up, and they just give me another day to go.
Yeah, it's a stupid, tedious process.
Yes.
But you have to continue the process for it to get done, because eventually what happens is that there's going to be a certain amount of time of him not showing, and the court's just going to be like, fuck it, he doesn't care, so boom, we're going to hit him with this.
Yes.
That's it. So, case closed.
Yes. So that's what he needs.
Yeah. And then hopefully they'll send a warrant out for his arrest.
No, they told me that one of the detectives told me that they're actually looking for him. So.
Well, yeah, they're looking for him to show up to court, I think, right? But not to arrest him because he's Before I went to court, they told me that they're looking for him to arrest him. Oh, okay. Do you know what that charge
it would probably be harassment, because he was harassing us, so it'll probably be for harassment.
So this is a complete fucking nightmare, man.
Yes.
And all because of a fucking man who doesn't have the balls to fucking deal with his own shit.
Exactly.
What do you have to say for someone out there who's possibly in the same situation or maybe a similar situation as yours, because I understand all situations are different, but someone who's entering the situation like as of yours? I mean,
I would just say to them, have plenty of support from your family, from your friends, from your loved ones. Have patience. They will get better. And if they have a platform, I'm also going to therapy as well. I suffer from anxiety, from PTSD. So any outlet that you find that can help you, take it. Oh, my Samantha wants to say a word of advice.
oh, thank you, Samantha.
If you see red flags, go and walk away before you notice them.
Thank you so much, Samantha. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
That's very good. Anything else you'd like to tell us? Lasting words or anything?
Make sure you go to police because domestic violence issues could turn into something more deadly.
Oh, yes, you're completely right. You can't. Awesome. We got her to speak.
Yes.
That's great. And a lot of times it's even more powerful when it comes from her.
Yes.
So for yourself, Miguelina, right?
Mm-hmm.
Any lasting words? Anything else you like to say about your story? Anything you like to say before?
That I will get through this.
Yeah.
This is not gonna define me. I'm a strong person, and what's gonna come to him will eventually come to him.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you very much for taking your time out to tell us your story, to speak to us, and to inform people out there who possibly can be going through the same thing as you have been and still are, and to keep fighting. Continue to fight, and it will eventually get better.
Thank you.
And thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak, because I've never done a podcast, so thank you.
Awesome. Hopefully we'll have you on again, okay?
Okay, anytime.
All right, this is NYC Boom from the Double A Club Podcast. Again, catch us on Spotify, Amazon Music, also Iheart Radio, and check out the web series on YouTube, which you're actually watching right now. Thank you very much, everyone. Peace out.
Bye.